everybody, Jam Creates here. I'm doing something a little bit different today, or at least I'm trying something a little bit different. I am recording a video on my ride home from work. A little commuter video, I guess you could call it. My ride home is not that far, so this won't be that long of a video. Generally takes me about 15-20 minutes to get home from work. Anyway, let's see. I don't know how the audio is going to be, so this will be interesting to see how this turns out. We'll see what happens. So anyway, just had a topic I was going to touch on, and maybe this is something I'll start to do, is I'll do these driving videos. You know, I have to drive to work in the morning, and I have to drive home every day, so, you know, it could be an interesting way to just get some stuff off my chest and talk about whatever topic I feel like talking about. So right now I'm going to talk about a topic that maybe some people are going to relate to, and some people might not. I don't know. But it comes down to when we're talking about comic books, but not just comic books, other things as well. When did it become uncool to genuinely like something? Like, or to be excited about something? I don't understand this. I see comic book creators all the time. They're tweeting constantly. They're using social media all the time. They're constantly on Twitter. I swear they're on Twitter more than they're actually working on their comics sometimes. But what they're tweeting about is not, hey guys, you're not going to believe what the next issue of, you know, Superhero Guy is going to be about. You can't wait till you see this. It's going to be unbelievable, you know. No, it's all political this and drama that and this, that, and the other thing, talking about the president and politics and identities and all this other nonsense. And it's like, I don't care. If I'm following a comic book creator, I'm following them because they're a comic book creator. So I'm following them because maybe I'm a fan of theirs, or I'm a fan of maybe the company they work for, or I'm a fan of the character that they're working on. And honestly, I'm at the point now where I don't follow any anymore. I used to follow some, and it's the same thing that you see with celebrities. You know, they're constantly tweeting about politics and climate change and this and that and the other thing, and it's like, dude, tell me about the movie you're in. I want to see that. Show me some cool behind-the-scenes pictures or something. Like, there are some celebrities who get it, and they have some good Twitter accounts where they do some cool stuff. And it's the same thing with comic book creators. But the funny thing is, the comic book creators who seem to be having the most fun or doing the most cool stuff, or who seem genuinely interested in comic books, are the ones who are associated either with Comicsgate, or you see the ones from Alterna Comics. And honestly, I'm having such great interactions with the guys from Alterna, it's ridiculous. Like, I posted some stuff about going to Comic-Con and how I met the creator of Blood Realm, and he retweeted everything. He thanked me for being supportive and everything else. And then I just posted a video the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I posted a video. I don't want to call it a review. I don't know. I'm hesitant to call it a review. They called it a review, but whatever. I need to come up with another word, or just suck it up and call it a review. Whatever. So, I put up this video about Blood Realm, and the dude who created it and the official Blood Realm account retweeted it. And the official Blood Realm account, not only did they retweet my link to my video, but I got a response from a character in the story, wrote a response to me, and it was really pretty cool. I don't want to just try and say it from memory. I would need to read it, and I don't have it in front of me right now because I'm driving and I'm talking to you guys, which I probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm driving anyway, but whatever. I'm doing hands-free. It's fine. And, don't text and drive. Don't live stream and drive. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the crux of what I'm talking about is the guys from Alterna. Every one of them that I've tweeted about, buying their book or reading their book or anything like that, they've all responded with like super excited, super cool, like, awesome, thanks for reading. Oh, you're not going to believe what happens in the next. Like, they're not only thanking me for reading, but they're also promoting their current issue and the next issue. Like, that's the really cool thing. Like, they're literally like bouncing off my free promotion, because I mean, me tweeting about them is giving them free promotion, and they're using that to promote the next book, which I don't have a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's awesome, because that shows me that these guys genuinely care about their book, and they genuinely care about making their book a success and making their book good. They want people to read their book. They want their book to be successful. They're excited by the material they're putting out, which you don't see from most mainstream creators. You really don't. There's a couple that you do. I see Sean Gordon Murphy tweeting Batman stuff, which is cool. He's promoting the sequel to White Knight, which White Knight was really good, so I'm sure his next one will probably be good too. And he's just out there promoting it, which is sweet. That's what you should do. Like, if you're excited about the book you're making, put it out there. But I think it's also a deeper thing. I think it goes beyond just even comic book professionals. But I'll tell you what really made me notice this more than anything else, at least recently in this wave of comics and everything, was seeing Diversity in Comics when he was promoting and talking about doing Jawbreakers. Even before he launched his Indiegogo, just when he was talking about Jawbreakers, he was so excited about those characters and about that story and about that world. You could hear it in his voice in all his videos. He was so excited to bring these stories and these characters to people. And that's awesome. Like, when a creator genuinely is excited about the work that they're putting out, you feel it. It's contagious. Excitement is contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. And that's part of the reason why I think his book was so successful. And it's the same thing with Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog broke every kind of record there is for comic book crowdfunding. It's over $500,000. And why is that, do you think? Is it just because people are trying to stick it to mainstream comics? No, because honestly, who's going to spend $25 to $50 just to stick it to Marvel and DC? Like, that's stupid. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who will, but like, I ain't got that kind of money. Like, I don't have money to throw around just for nonsense. Like, I'm buying it because I want it. Because Ethan Van Sciver is an insanely talented artist. He's so good. If you see the pages that he's putting out, he's proud of the work he's doing. He's proud of this story. He's proud of the art he's making. He's said so many times that this book needs to be a masterpiece. He knows he raised all this money on faith and, his background, of course, his history of creating good comic books. And he wants this thing to be amazing. He's so into it. Like, he loves Cyberfrog. He loves this world. He loves what he's doing. And it shows. I mean, it's contagious. It's absolutely contagious when somebody is into something that they're doing. You can tell when someone is just making something for a paycheck. And it's lame. It's not exciting. It's not fun. And, I think this also goes into something a little bit deeper. I'm going to get a little bit of a train of thought going here, since I'm sitting at a red light and I'm still driving home. People, it's funny. I am, I'm in my 40s. I am a Gen Xer through and through. I grew up in that time. And one of the things that people hung on us as Gen Xers was that we don't care about anything. We don't care about anything. That was the label that, every generation puts a label on other generations. And our generation was labeled as, we just don't care about anything. That's why they called us Gen X, because supposedly the X meant like nothing. We stood for nothing. We cared about nothing. That was our whole thing. That was what they hung on us. And the funny thing is I guess to a certain extent that was kind of the thing. Everything was a little bit dark and whatnot. You had grunge, took over and became the big thing over pop music, which was so big in the 80s. And and I like some of that, no doubt. Like, I love STP. Like, Stone Temple Pilots are one of my favorite bands. But Gen X did care about stuff, even though, people said we didn't. And it's the same way that, we, now, generations now label millennials as entitled and this and that. And of course, like any label like that, there's going to be some truth to it, of course. But Gen X, we were not as nihilistic as everybody made us out to be. And one thing we really did care about was our stuff that we grew up with, our stuff that we enjoyed as a kid. Like, we loved our, cartoons and our toys and our video games, and we were one of the first generations to be able to re-watch stuff over and over, because we were around when the VCR came into prominence. And so I could watch episodes of the Transformers over and over and over again. I could watch G.I. Joe episodes over and over. Ninja Turtles I could watch over and over. I watched the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton until I could literally quote it word for word. I used to watch hours and hours of Ninja Turtles episodes over and over. In fact, I used to put episodes of Ninja Turtles on my VCR and then find like a good shot of a turtle, pause it, and then just leave it up on the screen, like adjust like frame by frame so like the lines would be out of the screen, and then draw what I saw. That was how I learned to draw the Ninja Turtles. Like, when I was a kid, I taught myself to draw the Ninja Turtles by watching the show and then pausing it and then just drawing what I had paused. And then also I learned that was how I learned how to draw the cartoon turtles, and then I learned how to draw the comic book turtles from just looking at the comic books, obviously. And then eventually I kind of developed my own little hybrid of the two, which I used to draw most of the time, but I would still go back and forth. Sometimes I just draw, this is going to be a cartoon turtle, this is going to be a comic book turtle, this is going to be some hybrid in between. So, like, we had that, and generations now take that for granted, obviously, because, DVRs and on-demand and Netflix and everything else. Before that, they didn't have that, so you watched something when it aired, and then that was that. Like, so we had we grew really attached to some of these properties. And so people, you hear people bitch and moan about, these overgrown fans who don't like their new take on whatever it might be, It's because we grew up with this stuff and we watched it over and over and over again. Like that new horrible Thundercats Roar thing. That's disgusting. Like, dude, make your own cartoon. If you want to do your own thing, like, that's fine. But why are you making Thundercats and just turning it into some goofy cornball comedy ridiculousness? Like, I don't understand that. Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, honestly, do you think that's going to sell to a new generation? First of all, you're trying to bank on the name Thundercats, but the new generation of kids don't know the name Thundercats. So to them, this is their first exposure to it. They're going to look at it and go like, whatever. It looks like every other cartoon out there. People who know the name Thundercats and are into Thundercats are going to look at it and go, oh my God, what the hell did you do? Like, that's what it is. And honestly, I feel like, oh damn, bad accident. Youch. That's not good. Okay, anyway, glad that was on the other side of the road, not the way I'm going. Anyway, I can kind of remember the first time I noticed, like, the whole, I only like things ironically. And this is where we're at now, is I feel like everything has to be ironic. Where's the genuine enthusiasm and the genuine love? Like, if I got to write Spider-Man, let's say, or draw Spider-Man for Marvel Comics, like, Spider-Man has always been one of my favorite characters. If I got to do that book, I would be over the moon. I would be so excited. I would be telling everyone left and right, like, I'm doing Spider-Man. You gotta read it. You gotta check it out. And I would be doing everything I could to write the best Spider-Man or draw the best Spider-Man book that I could do. And I would be promoting the crap out of it all the time. And people don't do that, and I don't quite understand it. I just don't get it. And anyway, what I was going to say was, I remember watching, believe it or not, of all things, years ago, watching I Love the 80s. And they did a segment about Transformers. And I was super excited. I'm like, yes, they're going to do Transformers. I love Transformers. It's one of my favorites. And the whole segment was just people making bad jokes about transgenders or transsexuals, or like that was the whole segment. It was just people making fun of the show. And I'm like, this is supposed to be I love the 80s, not I make fun of stuff from the 80s. Like, it made no sense to me, and I remember being really annoyed. Like, why can't somebody, at least one person of all these stupid talking heads that they have on here, instead of having Henry Rollins make some bad joke about them being transsexuals, why not have, like, one person, like one, who honestly remembers and enjoyed the show, watching the show as a kid, and could say, like, dude, Transformers was awesome. Remember the movie? Remember how crazy it was that all the Autobots were getting murdered in the beginning of the movie? Like, and Optimus Prime dies, and it's like one of the saddest things for kids back then. Like, there was nothing. No, it was nothing like that. And I don't understand it. Everything had to be ironic and silly, and you had to make a joke about it. And it was so stupid to me, and I never understood that. And even to this day, this is where we're at. Every comic book that you see now from Marvel is not real. It's not a real comic book anymore. Like, there's no real heroes. There's no real villains. Everything is just a joke. And it's just annoying. Like, why does so many comic books, for example, why do so many of them in the Marvel, these new ones, they use Kraven the Hunter? I don't know why they have this thing, they love Kraven the Hunter. But they love to make him a joke. Why are you making this guy a joke? This guy was deadly. Like, this guy is a killer. And you're just turning him into some goofball. Why? Because he wears a furry outfit and, like, has a funny accent? Like, come on. Do something better. Be better. Care about your characters. And do something that shows you care about your characters. This is probably, I guess this is going to go down as my very first rant of my channel. And that's fine. You know, I think it's a pretty mellow rant as far as rants go. But I just don't understand it. Like, love the characters you're working on, or don't work on them. Genuinely like stuff. It's okay to like stuff. I like liking stuff. Does that make me crazy? I don't understand. Does that make me stupid? Am I not smart enough because I genuinely like stuff? Do you have to be above it all? Because that's the attitude I seem to get from these creators now, is everyone's above it all. They're all above it. Like, it's like they're stooping down to some low level to write superhero comic books. Ugh. Like, you know what? If you don't like it, don't do it. God knows you can make more money doing something else nowadays. Like, let's be honest. These people are all living in poverty, making terrible wages, which is why the guys working on Indiegogo, putting out books on Indiegogo through Comicsgate, are making way more money than these other pros are, which I think is also part of the reason why these pros are so jealous of guys like Ethan Van Sciver and Diversity in Comics and all these other guys. Like, they can't help themselves but be jealous by it, even though they all seem to be communists and they all hate capitalism in all its forms for some reason. Money is evil, but, you know, I'll live with a roommate and you know, I'll live with 6 roommates and 14 cats, and then I'll beg on GoFundMe for sandwiches. Like, I just don't get it. It's just such a weird world to me that we're in, where obviously people love superheroes. Look how much money the Marvel movies are making. Look at how much money these movies make. People want superheroes, and they want real superheroes. They don't want crappy fake superheroes. They don't want your nonsense, bogus, fake Hulk. They don't want your fake Captain America. Although, to be honest, when they said they were going to put Falcon in the cap suit, I actually wasn't upset with that. I thought if there was anyone you were going to do that with, that was actually a good choice. It just turned out that they just didn't know how to write a character of... They didn't know how to write a black Captain America, apparently. Like, apparently that was just too hard for them, because they just made him so boring, it was ridiculous. And I also hated the costume. Like, why did they do that ridiculous redesign for the costume? Like, he's Captain America. He didn't need to have the wings anymore, honestly. Like, you could have just put him in, like, a normal cap suit. Or, like, I don't know, whatever. It was just so badly done that even though, like, I was actually on board for the idea of making Sam Wilson take over as Cap, especially since at the time Captain America was just this old dude, and, you know, Steve Rogers had aged, and they made him really old, so he couldn't be Cap anymore. So I was okay with that. Like, all the other stuff they did was just stupid. Like, I hated the whole female Thor and all that other nonsense, and the, you know, the fake Hulk. Like, you know what, like, honestly, if you wanted to do another Hulk, I could almost get behind it, because we've had, you know, Green Hulk, Red Hulk, Gray Hulk. It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. One Hulk, two Hulk, three Hulks, four. Red Hulk, Blue Hulk, Green Hulk, more. No, but we seriously, like, we've had different Hulks before. We have She-Hulk, of course, like, who they're just completely destroyed as well, for whole other reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video. That's another video. Maybe I'll do another rant about that at some point. But I just don't, you know, I don't get it. Like, if you wanted to do another Hulk, I would be okay with that. But you killed off the original Hulk and then tried to just make me think this new Hulk was totally better. He's smarter and he's better and everything else because he's the new Hulk. So he's got to be better. Like, how about this? Like, no. How about make him a different color Hulk? Make him some kind of weird new variant on the Hulk. Like, if he had like a similar origin, but like something different happened, and so this dude like became the Hulk. But give him some faults too. Like, that's the other thing. Like, no, he's got to be a super genius, because every character now has to be a super genius. Why? That's not interesting. That's boring. Here's a hot take before I end this video, because I'm just about home. I never liked Reed Richards. You know why I never liked Reed Richards? Because he was boring. I always thought Reed Richards was boring because he was so smart that he was just irritating. He talked too much for me, especially as a kid. I thought, like, this guy just never shuts up. He just never shuts up. He talks too much. And he's able to find solutions for every problem because he's smart, which, I mean, whatever, that's fine. But, like, that shouldn't be the Hulk. Like, the idea of a smart Hulk is fine. I mean, they've done that before. But, like, why? Like, do something different. When you put the Hulk into a young person, why not make it a young person who's impetuous? And maybe not the bright, not a super genius. Maybe he's too aggressive. Maybe he's like, he enjoys being the Hulk a little too much. Maybe he goes overboard with the power. You know, maybe it goes to his head. Give him some faults. That's what makes for interesting characters. Not perfect, everything's perfect, I'm a super genius, and I can do anything because I'm better than the original in every way. Like, it's just dumb. I know I kind of went all over the place with this one. It was supposed to be more about, like, just liking things, and it kind of got off into all different tangents. But hey, whatever. Maybe that's what these videos will be, is just a stream of consciousness as I'm making my way home from work or to work in the morning. We'll see. I don't know if I have enough energy to do this in the morning. Anyway, so that's going to be my video. If you like this video, please let me know. I'd love to get more comments going on my videos. Let me know what you think in the comments. I say like a billion times. My teacher back when I went to school for broadcasting would kill me. But as I say again. But just let me know what you think. Give me, like this video, comment on the video, let me know. Like and subscribe to the channel if you want to, hit me up on Twitter at @jam_creates. I'm on DeviantArt too, although I don't really post there that much. I have a website too. You can find it through my Twitter. Yeah, so that's it. Check it out, and I will talk to you soon. And that's it. Peace out.